Salutations. Glad to be back on the air. This is your host, Navigator, from the Navigator Podcast, bringing in some big news. We're going to be starting a new kind of special part for the show called American Women Finding Out, Liberal Women Finding Out. Because there's been a trend about liberals, mostly liberal women, leaving the country to flee Trump's America, and then finding out that no other country is better than the United States. So, further ado, here we go.
The country to move somewhere else, make sure that the location you choose isn't based off of fear and lack mentality. I regret moving to Costa Rica. It's a beautiful country. I love the nature and wildlife, but moving to a third world country where I don't know the language, I don't have any connections, resources, or opportunities, that didn't make my life any easier by any means. I was just so scared of what's going on in America politically that I was in fight or flight. I was like, how am I going to afford to survive? Like, how am I going to find a place to live? Like, I was freaking out. And then I came here and made my life so much harder. And now I'm trying to go back, and I just wish I didn't leave in the first place. And it's so weird to want to move to America right now with everything that's going on. But I just left so many privileges and resources behind, and I want them back. It sucks. But I kind of grew up in an interesting way. I was the poorest person in the wealthiest rooms throughout most of my childhood. I was extremely wealthy till I was age 6. I had this beautiful waterfront mansion with a private beach and pool. And then my parents got divorced, and I ended up with a parent who didn't have money. So we were living out of trailers and hotels and lower income housing, but I was still in these really wealthy situations. I was in private school and cotillions and dance lessons. And I always thought that I was so poor because I was the poorest person that I knew. And all of my friends had millionaire and billionaire parents. Now that I've traveled, I've seen real poverty, and I'm oh, I wasn't poor. But as a kid, I had these really luxurious vacations through my friends and family members where my first introduction to Costa Rica, it was when I was 17 years old. I came with my friend's family, and we stayed at exclusive resorts. We were having lunch at the Four Seasons, and same with my Hawaii experiences. My family friends took me, and we stayed at the Grand Wailea and the Hyatt, all these really fancy luxury resorts, and we would explore the areas too. But living in Nonavale or Pahoa is very different than taking a vacation at the Grand Wailea or Four Seasons. So my travels and moves, I've really realized how privileged I've been. And there's a lot of things that made me run away from LA and Orange County, some traumatic experiences and terrible people. But I left a lot of resources and great people behind, and I need to be in those environments again. I really miss luxury environments.
And here we have this young lady. Don't know her name. Don't really care, honestly.
What do I do when a lot of my family and friends are trying to convince me to not move to Mexico? Mainly my husband's family. We can sit and list.
Yeah, you can just tell. You know what's funny? The thing about liberals, they talk about exclusivity and being diverse, but this tells me they do not have diverse friendships at all. Because if they did, they would know that, that, and they don't really live out or leave the United States. And if they do, they'd never really experience the real world.
The long ass list of pros with very little cons, but the cons are just thrown. And that's the only thing they see. How we're going to get a job, how we're going to make money. And the thing is, my husband's family is Mexican. They've lived in Mexico, but the area that they lived in is nothing like the area we're moving to.
No Mexican wants to live in Mexico. I'm just going to say that. And it's a fact, because Mexico's not a real country. It's owned by cartels. It's no different, in all fairness, it's really no different from the Ayatollah. A terrible regime, and it's not a real country. No one wants to live there.
It's not even comparable. How is it that Mexicans have fallen for American propaganda of Mexico?
No, it's because you have fallen. This woman, she has fallen for American propaganda. She's been listening too much BS now, and the Commie News Network, CNN. It's just stupid woman.
Because
Septon ring theory holds up.
we're moving is amazing. It's thriving. We're moving to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's like 30 minutes from Cancun. They're acting like where we're moving isn't safe or livable. We want our kids to be a majority, not a minority. I want to be a majority and not a minority. Real food, affordable healthcare, tropical beaches, jungle, not having to fear for our safety due to racism, diversity, Trump not being our president. It's affordable and we can live comfortably. Like, what about that isn't worth it? Like, I'm confused.
This is what you get when you live in a bubble and you don't talk to anyone who outside of that left-wing narrative. Like, seriously. Like, this is what happened. This girl has been propagandized.
We were finally able to escape the United States and we're having to move back already. Not even 2 months after. The reason being that our 4-year-old son got extremely sick the first week that we were here. He had a terrible fever, was throwing up blood, terrible diarrhea. His whole body was in terrible pain. He was screaming in pain and agony for days. Even after we took him to the doctor and they gave him different medication, he ended up having a bacterial infection in his stomach and his body. And since then, he has recovered, but he's still having really bad lingering problems. And we're starting to think that he has
Not that free healthcare work out for you, huh?
an autoimmune disorder. So with that, we're having to go to the States to get him the proper care. We've had to spend hundreds, thousands of dollars out of pocket that we were not planning on. So now we're going back to the United States to get our son the care that he needs. And we're having to let go of this dream of living here in Mexico. Are we going to get a bunch of I told you so's? Probably. But there was no way that we could prevent our son getting this sick. We were not expecting these hospital bills, medication. I feel really fucking sad because we got rid of everything in the United States. We got rid of our home, our car, our jobs, and we left so much just to have to go home and restart with nothing. Pray for us. Send us good vibes, please, because we really do need it.
No, because you can't cure stupid. And why is it that this man? Why is it her husband didn't try to stop this? I mean, like, this was stupid. Like, if he knows how bad the country really is, well, this is what you get for marrying a white liberal woman. And white liberal women only get with weak men. Yeah, I swear, women are just a protected class at this point. Like, feminists in America are really, 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 really privileged because they do not know how really bad it is out there. And to finish, but to finish this, I would like to go through the Bible. Ezra 14:13. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nation. For you have said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation of the finest side of the north. I will ascend above the heavens of the clouds. I will be like the Most High, yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lower depths of the pit. Those who see you will gaze at you and consider you, saying, is that the man who made the earth tremble, who shook the kingdom, who made the world as wicked as wilderness and destroyed its cities, who did not open the house of his prisoners? Thank you. This has been Navigator Podcast. Please come back again.